till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Rain, sleet, or snow, Pregaming stays good to go. Appreciate everybody coming in here tonight, watching us here on YouTube. We're over there on Kick as well, so shout out to anybody that is tuning in to check us out over on Kick. Got both of them up here. It was brought to my attention I am doing a poor job managing the Kick chat when we're live on screen, so what the hell? I got two hands. I got two screens. We might as well put another window in there. Why not? Why not? Let's have some fun with it. Oh, I'll tell you, I am trying to recover from this gut punch. That was overtime. Overtime clocked me in the Temple game. At halftime, I was able to get a 156.5. I took the under again. That cashed. Man, we go to overtime. It's 68-68. We're sitting there. The premium play given out was sitting there on under 149.5. Thinking this is going to be a sweat. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way it's happening. There's no way it's done. It's toast. It went to overtime. It's dead. Then they leave me with a glimmer of hope. With like a minute left, they only scored 3 points in overtime. I'm sitting on 143. I don't know what happened with Temple. They clearly thought that they wanted to screw my bet. You know my attitude around Temple. F them. F Temple. You know, we've talked about it before. And they got me good. Meaningless foul with 3 seconds left or 4 seconds left. And then the guy on goes up and makes them both. I'm like, we get to 150. We lose by the hook in overtime. The other premium play that did cash, though, was Luton Town. Both teams to score. First half was looking a little shaky. Then bang, bang, and Luton Town cashes both teams to score. And I gave one out for the people. Man of the people. Trying to help you guys. You know what? Hey, it's only $5 a month to upgrade to the silver membership level. Get these weekday plays. And, out of the goodness of my heart, I tossed out a plus 246 parlay for everybody to take advantage of a freemium afternoon action. Real Madrid money line, Mbappe to score a goal, and Madrid team total over 1.5. A little plus 246 action, so that cashed for us as well. So good start to the day. Man, you have hope, then there's no hope, then there's hope, then there's no hope. It's like, it's the adage. Just put the, you don't have to put the bag over my head and kick me in the nuts. Just cut my throat. That's all I ask. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to rebound. We're having a good day. There's a lot of things going on right now. If you guys haven't checked it out already, the sub club is open. He's got a play for us on match day 26. Little Brentford Bees action out there. There's a nice little video that we clipped out this afternoon for you guys. Check it out. Make sure you do hit that thumbs up button on the video as well. And leave a comment. If you guys have an EPL play that you like for this weekend or for that game in particularly, throw a comment out there. We love to see the comments. We enjoy the comments. Try to respond to all the comments. A lot of good comments. Some great comments. And what else do we have? VB MMA Picks show went off last night at 8 p.m. 3 bangers for the UFC Seattle card. We're going to shoot first strike tonight. We'll get that thing rolling out there. 4 plays. I think I've seen them already now. I'll tell you, I'm dogging. We're dogging. Going after some big plus money. So that'll be fun. And then, of course, tomorrow night, Thursday, the big live stream. We've got Team USA playing Team Canada. The battle for the 51st state, maybe? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. I'm excited. That's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a great live stream. Of course, our man Ramon Scott has been running so hot. You can catch him out with the morning steam at 9 a.m. And then we'll be back here for pregame at 6 p.m. I think that brings us current. Oh, and why not talk about it? We got a hype video. out there. I wonder if I can play it here. I don't see why I can't. It's our video. It's our content. Well, it's out there. I want you guys to check that out. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on that as well. Kevin Carrier is our newest Apex Predator to join the Sports Money crew. He puts the gloves on. He goes into the octagon. He fights for the Legacy Fighting Alliance this Friday night in Niagara Falls. We will be present. Both I and MMA Jeff, MMA Ashley will be there as well. So that's going to be fun. We'll be live on locale again, shooting from the... Well, I guess I got to think about where we're going to be shooting from here. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll have to figure out the logistics behind it. So that's the deal. You guys know what's up. Now is the time of the show to smash that thumbs up button. Man, I don't know. We're having a good week. It's like when we win, the likes go down. When we lose, the likes go up. I'm not sure what's going on. Shout out to Parma Jake. I see him over there on Kick. But you know what to do. Smash that thumbs up button. Help us grow this thing. We're trying. We're giving you guys more content, taking the time, taking the commitment to give you guys more plays, more winners. Not just plays for the sake of plays, but man, we're having a damn good run on the premium side of the shop out there. And that was all by your guys' request. So the more things you guys want from us, let us know. Communicate with us. We're all openly accessible via DM. You can comment in the videos. We want to make sure that we hit the mark with what you guys are interested in checking out. So all this stuff kind of connects together, and it starts by closing the chat, hitting the thumbs up. Then you open the chat back up, and we get to work. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Some good stuff going on, too. I mean, there's just a lot of good things happening right now. It gets me excited, you know? I get up every day thinking about, cashing bets. Giving you guys winners, giving you winning plays. So it caps my behind to lose a game in overtime by a hook. Just hurts my feelings. Hurts my feelings, you know? Hurts my feelings. But I love you guys, man. So let's get back to work. Let's do what we have to do. We have a nice card tonight. Nice card. NBA's back, only one game, and we got to wait all night for it. But I got two plays for you guys, including a player prop parlay that I think is going to smash. It's just over 5-1. What the hell? We just cashed a parlay? We just cashed a little same game parlay? You know, some of these jokers that say parlays don't pay, they don't do the work. They're not doing the work, or they don't know enough about the player details. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. But they do pay, and they've been paying us quite handsomely lately. Yeah, I think we've hit 5 of our last 6. It's not even counting some of the hockey stuff that's been going on out there. I mean, hockey's been fired. Whoo! Whoo! We got Cincinnati, West Virginia battling tonight. I bit the side of my tongue last night, I think, when I was sleeping. So it's enunciating is proving to be a difficult challenge. Cincinnati, West Virginia battling out there. We've got Vanderbilt and Kentucky. KY stands for Kentucky. Has nothing to do with jelly. SMU and Notre Dame will battle out there for probably two of the teams that I hate the most. What else we got going on out there? We've got a little South Florida, UTESA, the Roadrunners. Mimi, they're in action tonight out there. Zags and Washington State will battle. New Mexico and Boise State will battle. And Rutgers and Washington will play. I don't know if it's going to be a battle. They're going to play them. They are going to play. So we have a nice blend across the card. Some early, little middle stuff, and then banging it away late night there. Of course, I mentioned the Hornets and the Lakers in the NBA will be how we close this thing out. So let's go. I like keeping that brisk pace, getting done early last night. Albeit the side of my tongue continues to get in the way of my teeth. Shout out to the chat that's out there. Guys know the deal. Get the pen and paper ready. The best in the business. You know where they assemble. It's right here, Sports Money. Look, we're growing. We do this for real. We take it seriously. We're not trying to clown around. We want to make money. We want to give you guys winning bets. And that's what this show is all about. That's what this channel is all about. And the resources that we have out here to bring that to you guys. And it starts with the chat. You guys, we've been building. We've been building for a year and a half now. At least a year and a half. We've been working on this, bringing it all together at the end of the night to get the best bets in play. And we're going to do just that. So get that pen and paper ready. Shout out to David Wallace. Look at this guy he's putting out there for us. He's got SMU. He's got Alabama. He's got East Carolina. Small bet. Wolford moneyline with American plus 1.5 and Penn State moneyline for plus 444. Okay. I like that Penn State look. Sneaky Penn State. Look, when everybody gives up on Penn State, they find a way. There's sub Joe Dubs, stop Geo, Jerry Davis. There's Nick in the house. He's back rocking with us. He likes the Charlotte money line. Great start to the day. Yeah, I like that Charlotte too. That was a nice start. AOD, what up, AOD? Rick J. Watching a Twitch kick to know you have to stand in water to gain viewers. You do. I'll tell you what, though. We've slowly grown that side of the house. Well, I say slowly. We've only been really focused on it for a couple of weeks now. 77 subscribers over there on Kick. You know what it is, though. It's the Wild West. Games on TV, watching them all together. Redbeard shouting out Charlotte. Gary Davis has fired me the F up. Bella Coots cashed on Charlotte as well. AOD wants the outro tonight. If you don't play the outro tonight, he says, I got to read between them. We're going to lose our bets if Mike doesn't play the outro. Okay, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Gerald Jones says, what up, Pimp and Crew? Best bet UNC Greensboro money line. And he's 11-6. Came off a big dub. 11-6 for our guy, Gerald Jones. Thank you for sharing, my friend. Shout out to Trisha M in the house. Peter Gracia's here. David Walls gave us that big card out there already tonight. Gerald Jones also likes the UNC under 135.5. Gary Davis says, I needed OT. I had a teaser of over 142. I think we're talking about that Charlotte game. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Old E's in the house. Rick J says, wish he'd taken Cincy plus 3.5. It's down to 2.5. Shout out to Barry. Says, sports money is money. Damn right it is. Damn right it is. Shout out to Fernando Mendoza. I saw you, my dude. Saw you getting in there this afternoon. Lucky Powers here. Says, come on, it only takes a second to smash the like and share the video. Peter Bugassi says, Mike, can you give me really quickly, how do you get to the silver membership? Thanks. Sure I can, Peter. Listen, a lot of you guys have been gifted bronze level memberships. Down at the bottom, you'll see the dollar sign. You click that dollar sign. Got to be at a laptop. Got to be at a laptop or a desktop, I guess, if people still use those. And you'll see the different membership levels, bronze, silver, gold. If you've been gifted a bronze, it's $5 more to get to the silver. It's just $10 to become a silver member. Man, that's where it's at. You know, the whole idea behind it, Pete, was a lot of people were looking for more plays, more action, and a lot of one-on-one conversations. And it just became a thought process that if you guys are looking for more and we're not on screen, then we want to give it to you guys. But we want to share it with everybody. You know, if we do the work and cap one of these games, and we will by your request, we'll look at the games and talk about what we think the outcome is going to look like, even if it's not one of our favorites. But we want to share that with everybody. If that work's been done, we want everybody to get an opportunity to get that money as well. So we don't want you to miss anything. And it's very important you follow Sports Money Wins over on X, at Sports Money Wins. Usually when, because we can't control when YouTube posts the content. But what we can do is we can put a notice in there with a link to the community post. In the community post, you'll see those plays. And so if you put your notifications on from Sports Money Wins, anytime we put content on any of the sites and our affiliated sites, made our first Instagram post last night, then you'll be in the know. You don't want to miss out on that action. So thanks for asking. Down at the bottom, the dollar sign. The Bhutan bet. Oh, also, you have to be able to turn memberships on. If you don't have your memberships on, this goes for a lot of you guys. If you haven't been gifted a membership, make sure you turn your memberships on. I've got a post out there. I can repost it. It's in the post section. I just said post a lot. You have to turn your memberships on. You have to be able to receive memberships and subscribe memberships. You have to go into your settings to do that. That's if you haven't been getting gifted memberships, it's not that we're playing favorites. It's that you probably don't have that setting or feature turned on. So make sure you do that as well. Futon Bets likes Nebraska money line. Rick J likes Nebraska -2. Trish says, I don't see NHL on the agenda. We'll give a couple look aheads. Those Kachuk Bros going to be more juiced than a Bob Baffert horse on Derby Day. Ironically, my book is not taking goal on Maddie. Jerry Davis thinks it's ETSU spot. Trisha also likes Hughes, McKinnon for shots, and McDavid anytime goal. Paul and Boats. This is it, Paul and Boats. You're looking at it, my friend. You are looking at it. That's why it means so much. That's why it means so much. Rick J, it's not the injuries, it's the sickness that's been, I guess McAvoy's got an injury to that shoulder, but it's sickness. Quinn Hughes, we broke the news last night, will not be playing. He will not be traveling. He couldn't clear medical, I guess. And so he's not going to be moving on over for Team USA, which is disappointing. But they'll bring some other players in. Miller playing or not determines SMU game. I agree. Dirty Rex says, what the fuck is Bama doing getting points? Jerry Davis says, I'm driving, can't take notes. All right, Jerry. Well, you can listen to us back. Nick says, Presbyterian on a Wednesday. Rick J says, Bama center hurt, but Mizzou shoots a lot of threes and backups have been decent. Robert McCormick, you guys are full of it tonight. I love it. Paul Boat says, how do you get a gifted sub? You got to turn your... I've got a link out there in the post tab. I'll repost it this evening so that you guys can see in your settings on YouTube. I'm not a YouTube expert. You just got to go in your settings and you got to go and turn on memberships and subscriptions. That's the first thing you have to do. Then as we gift them out there from the different live streams and you guys gift them out there, it's random. It's random assignment as to who gets them. But we want to make sure you guys get that as well. Barry, I got you. You know what, Barry? I was thinking about that today. I'm glad you brought that back up. I got you, Barry. I got you, my friend. Don't you worry about that. We get you in check. 3 months upgrade for that Super Bowl square. And shout out to Joe Dog. Speaking of gifted memberships, look at this guy. It's five sports money memberships helping push the boat off the dock here, blessing our action tonight. Look at you guys. Joe Dub, my guy. Thank you so much, my friend. It's great, man. I love that you guys come in here on a regular basis and chop it up with us here. But coming in being prepared is so important to me, and you guys are doing that with your preparation and sharing your best bets. But then to go a step further and gift memberships and help us build this community, help take a little sting out of somebody that does want to get some of those upgraded plays. Look, plays aren't forever. You don't want to buy plays. You don't have to buy plays. We're just giving you guys a cheap process to be able to go get those opportunities. And so when Joe Dub selfishly gets 5 memberships out of his own pocket, it means a ton. It means an absolute ton, my friend. Cheers to you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's go. How about that? Power says, someone gift me a membership. I want to see if I could accept it. Oh, man, you guys are great. I love all you guys, man. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get this show on the road. And again, I'll make sure that I put that link out there for you guys. I mean, you can go into the Google or the YouTube search and just type in, how do I subscribe to memberships or how do I receive gifted memberships? And it'll walk you through just a couple of buttons you have to click to get there. Again, I'm no expert at that. I'm not a tech guy from that side of the house, but I've seen it once or twice. Okay, go time. Cincinnati, West Virginia. And we got a couple of, sometimes the card works out that we get some themes in action. I forgot to rifle down last night. Look, Houston screwed me. And that Colorado State under didn't cash either. Air Force, they were winning the whole first half. They made it sweaty at the end, but plus 8.5 got through for us. Lipscomb under 154.5 got through for us. Western Michigan beat the shit out of Buffalo 97-64. They were only laying 2. The A10 starting to get some overs out there. That under did not cash. Florida Gulf Coast minus 2.5 cash for us. And then we had the under 2.5 for the premium plays there in the afternoon in the final. Feyenoord Milan, AC Milan under 2.5. That was a plus 155. So all in all, again, grinders, a little over 2.5 units yesterday on the day. Yeah, we're up like 2 units today, but it's my fault. I went too heavy on that game. I was preached the 1 unit management, and I heavied it up. I'm sorry, you guys. I owe you winning night here. So let's get this action in play tonight. You can always find my action at BetStamp. It's Mikey Money. Mikey Money, just like it sounds. Just like it sounds. Spell it out phonetically if you need to. But you can always see the action. It's strange. I don't think it's the right vehicle for us to drive this ship, but for now, at least there's a place to kind of keep this record straight without having to manually do it. So as we run down this card, Richmond does have a live betting opportunity tonight for anybody that's interested at 6:30. I did not get involved with that. I did want to jump in on that under, but it's a 6:30 game. I'm not interested in trying to squeeze the bat that tight. I like Providence a lot. Providence has absolutely dominated Georgetown. I think they've won like 8 straight in Georgetown. They're just beating them up. They open as 3.5-point favorites. They're dogs, 3.5-point dogs for Providence. They're down to 1.5 points. There is some respected sharper action coming in on Georgetown, though. There's 85% of the bets are on Providence. That has dropped the number by 2 points, but 61% of the cash on Georgetown, minus 1.5. So, no doubt that line has fallen. You can get Georgetown money line now at minus 122, but I did lean to the Providence side of things. 7 o'clock window will be here before we know it, so let's launch this boat off the dock. Shout out to our guy Joe Dubb with the 5 gifted memberships out there, brother. I appreciate you more than you can even imagine. Cincinnati opened up as 3.5-point road dogs. 53% of the bets and 56% of the cash are sitting there on Cincinnati. What we see from the numbers perspective is a slight tick up, 1 point up from 128.5 to 129.5, with 80% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. A lot of money coming in, 16,500 tickets approximately. Pretty split on the side, but enough to move it from 3.5 to 2.5 in some books. And if you look at the correlated line movement, 93% of the bets are on the West Virginia money line. They're saying, screw it. Not going to mess with those 2 or 3 points. I'm just going to just win. 93% of the betting public says just win West Virginia. Only 75% of the cash. And with all of that money coming in on the West Virginia money line, it's gone from minus 192 to minus 155. Almost 40 cents of movement in favor of the public side and saying, forget those 2 points, just win for me, West Virginia. And that's going to be where the problem starts in this game. Overall, when you look at these two teams, look, middle of the pack. Cincinnati started the season off like poop. They couldn't shoot. They weren't consistent. Their offensive efficiency was in the toilet, but it has spiked. It's one of the most improved offenses, especially over the last 5 games in college basketball. West Virginia, on the other hand, the problem with me having the kick screen open is I got to see myself slight delay. So, see my head moving. I got a lot of head movement. You know what? I'd be a tough guy to box because I don't keep that head on the straight line. Again, West Virginia at home, 8-8 against the spread. Cincinnati 5-5 against the spread on the road. And we got ourselves some unders. I love the under at first pass. I was like, man, 128.5 moved to 129.5. It is super low. One of the lowest on the card. And, you know, if you're one of those backers that believes the lowest number on the card, you bang the under, then I can't talk you off it. I certainly wouldn't talk you off it. I think West Virginia does have come. I know West Virginia comes off of back-to-back overs, but look, they played BYU and they played Baylor. So that Baylor game had a line of 136. It's gone 74-71. They scored 145 points. On the flip side, Cincinnati, who was our under darling, especially at home, they've got 4 straight overs. So I didn't want to jump in there and kind of be late to the party, and I certainly don't want to play an over in this game. But I do like those efficiency metrics that I started talking to you guys about. The improvement that this team has seen, I mean, it's night and day, the way that they're shooting across the board. You know, look, overall, the big trend here has to do with low totals. You take the road dog when it's total between 126.5 and 130. I know we talk about the overs and we correlate the overs to the dogs, but in this case, they're saying it's going to be a tight game and you want the points. And if you take those points, you're 75-37 overall across over 100 game sample, a 75-37 edge. By the way, there's another low total on the card tonight. If you like that, if you're buying that stuff I'm schlepping, and I don't mean that literally, I just mean that figuratively. If you like the low totals, you take the dogs 75-37. That game also is in play tonight with Tulsa. That trend is also in play with Tulsa. But like I said, the big thing for me here is, look, Cincinnati, they're not a 3-point or a free throw team. They're not. They rank almost dead last in the country, which could scare you just a little bit, for sure. I mean, you know, you want your team, especially when you're at the end and you're in a tight game, to be able to go out there and make those twos or those extra points. You know, unless you're sitting on an under in the Charlotte game and you're desperately clenching your fist tight, hoping that they miss those free throws. Then you want to be 339 in the country. But that being said, look, the last 3 of the last 4 games, Cincinnati's put up over 80 points. They're finding success. West Virginia has lost each of its last 9 night games against conference opponents. What's so important about that one is we talked about those Saturday afternoon spots. It's tough to get to Morgantown. It's planes, trains, and automobiles to get to that place from the airport. So when you're playing in a Saturday afternoon spot with travel factored in against a conference opponent, yeah, West Virginia holds the edge. But when it's nighttime and it's business as usual and they're playing a conference opponent, they do not find the W. Wrong team's favored. I'm going to take the 3.5. Actually, let me see what I got. Let me see what I got for you guys in this game. I got the 2.5. Doesn't matter. I hope it doesn't matter. I hope it doesn't matter. Being that bad at free throws, it could matter. But I'm on it. I think Cincinnati, they're in a revenge situation. And I mentioned that before when they were playing prior to. They weren't connecting. They were bad. And they're night and day in terms of the efficiency and improvement. And we're seeing the results yielding on the scoreboard with that 80-plus point factor. Give me the Bearcats. Give me the Cincinnati Bearcats. Is it the Bearcats? I think it's the Bearcats. Doesn't matter. I'm taking Cincinnati regardless of what they're called. That's going to be game number 1 for us. Rolling off here. We'll get into game number 2 with Vanderbilt and number 17 nationally ranked Kentucky. Everybody loves themselves some Vanderbilt here, don't they? It's like America's darling this year. They've been winning. Look at their record. Scottie Pippen Jr. post-era. I mean, that's where they kind of got on the map. Both these teams are kind of middle of the road when it comes to the conference, though, which is kind of surprising for SEC play. I believe this one is higher on the board here. Probably should go by rotation number. Probably make things easier for the search. But that's okay. This line opened at 5.5. We got 87% of the bets and 89% of the cash on Kentucky. It has gone from 5.5 to 4.5, making Kentucky even more attractive. 24,223 tickets approximately in this ratio. This number's gone up from 161.5 to 162 and now 162.5. And everybody loves the under. 93% of the bets and 92% of the cash are on the under, and yet it's going over. A lot of money coming in on that under, man. We know unders and favorites, overs and dogs. How do we approach and attack this game here? Well, both teams are pretty comparable against the spread. Kentucky at home, 9-7. Kentucky at home, 9-7. Bookmark that for a second. Put a pin in that. Hit the side of my tongue again. Vanderbilt against the spread on the road, 5-4. These teams are very comparably matched. Kentucky, as a favorite, because they're a ranked team and everybody loves Kentucky, they find themselves in a situation where there's too many points. They're 8-10 against the spread. So fading Kentucky has been profitable. But Vanderbilt, 4-6 in the dog roll against the spread. Here's where that point swing to me is beneficial. We went from 5.5, 8-10 against the spread. Kentucky, 5.5 has moved to 4.5. And we know Vanderbilt has become America's darling. But that darling's getting busted up. 1-4 in their last 5. Now, granted, this level of competition in the SEC is probably second to none across the map. But 1-4 in their last 5. Here's the thing about Kentucky. They just played Texas. They covered. They were getting 4.5. They lost 82-78 in that spot. Here's what's important about the situation. I'll spare you guys the night games versus afternoon situations, but we have intersecting zeros. Vanderbilt is 0-9 against ranked opponents in their last 9 night games. When it's business as usual, the lights are too bright for Vanderbilt. Kentucky is one of the better bounce back. We had a couple bounce back opportunities here. They've got revenge spots and bounce back spots. This game and another one we're going to talk about in a few minutes, bounce back spots. Overall, bounce back Kentucky 8-0 after a road loss. That's all it. That's aggregate 8-0 after a road loss. They're going to be coming back home where they won their last 2 games. One against Tennessee, one against South Carolina. They went up to Mizzou. They got busted up. Or Mississippi. They got busted up. Okay. 98-84. But they weren't supposed to win that game. The margin of victory when they bounce back are 9.8 points a game. You got yourself a healthy double-digit process there. I'm going to take it. I jumped in. I like the fact that this has come down that point. I think if you're steam chasing this Vanderbilt side of things, I think you're late to the party. And then, late to the party never works out to anybody. And you're catching up. You're doing excessive shots, even though you shouldn't be doing it because you want to catch up. You're late. And you're the first guy puking. And you got to go to bed. And it's embarrassing because they're drawing things on your face. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to take Kentucky. I'm going to laugh at you catching up, taking shots. While I bang away at Kentucky minus 4.5. So actually, I think I got 5. Let me double check. Yeah, I got 5. 5, 4.5. Probably if you wait just a touch longer, you'll catch that solid 4.5. I didn't put a graphic together for this one, but I did jump in on Indiana State first half. Upon further review, it's kind of one of those situations that we look for. Evansville, Indiana State. This line went from 7.5 to some 7s. 90% of the bets and 91% of the cash on Indiana State. Slight movement against them. The totals moved up from 148.5 to 149.5. 85% of the bets, 84% of the cash. The Evansville Purple Aces, 10-17 on the season. Indiana State Sycamores, 13-14. And why did I just take the first half in this game? Indiana State doesn't have a huge margin, 6-5-1 when they're at home against the spread. Evansville 4-8 against the spread on the road. So at first pass, it kind of says, if either team's going to shit the bed, it's more likely to be Evansville than not. And this is that match perfect situation that I like to get involved with. Evansville had 3 straight losses, not covering the spread. They go against Valpa. They beat them up by a 10 spot. They were 1.5-point dogs. So a team that was losing, it's tough to lose after 3. We talk about that. It's tough to win after 3. And they took that W. So you're selling high on Evansville. In Indiana State, look, they also came off a win. But they had back-to-back road games prior to that. They came in, they handled Illinois State. Illinois State's not a good team. There's not a lot of good teams in this conference at all. They handled them 85-76. What I'm looking at with this game, though, is ultimately for me, it's just a situation for the quick start. I'm not sure about the end. I mean, if you look at the free throw advantage, it's significantly in favor of Indiana State, 75% to 69%. But they hold the edge pretty much across the board. They out-rebound. They control the ball very well. They pass the ball around. They kind of control that clock. And if you look at this first half, juiced to the 3.5, not so much on the full game, and that number's coming down. So as I was kind of trying to read the book in this thing, I thought, I guess not juiced anymore, but I thought Indiana State can start strong. And Evansville just kind of lounges around. They find a way to hang in there, and they battle in these games. So I took the first half. Only the first half. And I told you about Kentucky already. So SMU and Notre Dame. 2 teams that I can't stand. I'm going to tell you this right now. SMU is completely overvalued. Completely. Now, you look at their record and you say, well, they're 10-4 in the conference. So how could they be overvalued? Because they haven't played anybody. Period. On the other side of things, Notre Dame is one of those teams where I talked about the increase in offensive efficiency for Cincinnati. You'll see the same thing for Notre Dame. This line opened up at minus 2.5 for SMU. You got to shop around because it has completely gone the other way. There's minus 1.5 for Notre Dame. There's plus 1.5 for Notre Dame, depending on the book that you have out there. But 94% of the bets and 80% of the cash. Look at that. 94%, that's their public number, the percentage of bets. All the tickets being written. Because they see SMU, they're so great in conference play, and Notre Dame's not. But only 80% of the cash. I know it's still a big number, but it creates a differential for us on this Notre Dame side of things. The money line went from minus 134. And the reason I use the money line is because we're kind of within that 2-point bucket. So just kind of more of a litmus test for what the hell's going on out there. Minus 134 has gone to even money. And they got 97% of the bets and 89% of the cash on SMU. And yet, they've made it more attractive. Total coming down a little bit, I guess. 1 point maybe, depending on where you're at. 81% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the under in this game. I'll tip my hat. I think as much as we see an overrated side in this SMU squad, look, Notre Dame is one of those teams, just like we talked about previously here. They control the rebounds. They're a strong rebounding team. They like to make threes. When it comes to the total, Notre Dame at night in conference is an underspot. That rebounding, that defense keeps everybody in check. And you look at it, they've gone 4 of their last 5 games to the under. They just had a Louisville match, 75-60. They got busted up, but went under. And Smoo came off of a massive winning streak. I mean, of course. But who they just lose to? Well, they just lost to Wake Forest. They beat up Pitt by 20 points. They lose to Wake Forest, and now they got to go on the road. And, look, I think that the difference in this thing here, yeah, we got a couple injuries out there really on both sides of the farm here, but I don't think it's enough to make it. I think Notre Dame just going to out 3-point these guys, bottom line. I mean, it's pretty comparable edges across the board. But in this case here, we're seeing that the public is indicating, or the books are indicating this is a Notre Dame spot. It should be a Notre Dame spot. They're keeping the points off the board. The one area that I did see was a sizable margin or a sizable opportunity for Smoo is their ability to block the ball. They got a couple big dudes, a couple big fellers. Problem with that, though, is strength of schedule. So for every advantage that Smoo has, I can discount it because they're playing bags of shit. Don't get yourself in the bag of shit business. Jump in on Notre Dame. Can't believe I'm saying it. I got the 2. I got it at -112. So if I don't have it in parentheses, Kentucky -5, that just means it was -110. If I got a different number, -104 or -112 in this case, just kind of gives you the benchmark of the points that I opted to take advantage of. Sometimes we get hooked. Sometimes we beat the hook. It is what it is. But I'm on Notre Dame in this game. Shout out to you guys rolling here. Appreciate everybody, man. Penn State came to play. I thought it was a Penn State spot. Trisha M. Shout out Mr. Tomatoes. Kentucky laying the hardwood. They'll blow the roof off tonight. I agree, Mr. Tomatoes. Trisha M says Notre Dame, Miami are both terrible. But UM at +8.5 is attractive. For the in-state rivalry. Trisha M says Mizzou is sneaky good, but Bama off a loss is hungry. Oh, I didn't put it on the screen, did I? No. You know what? Let's get moving. I do have a play in that Bammer game. This next game we'll talk about here. Sorry, I was pissed off watching that overtime loss, and I was too busy eyes glued to the TV to spend all the time in quality control to make sure I nailed this thing. South Florida and UTESA, the Roadrunners, coming out there to battle, I guess. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of early action here, huh? This game, I believe, starts at 8. Let me double check. There it is. 8 p.m. start with big movement towards UTSA, despite the big cash coming in on South Florida. This went from +1.5 to +3.5. Not a ton of sample, only 2,963 tickets. So we talked about some of them that had like 24,000. This one's sitting at 2,900. 97% of the bets, though, and 90% of the cash came in on South Florida. Totals moved up 3.5 points, despite 92% of the bets and 92% of the cash being on the under. Ultimately, I'm just picking on the fact that South Florida's garbage on the road. They're 4-7 away against the spread on the road. When they're in the dog roll, they're 4-7 as well. So typically when they're on the road, they're a dog. And why is that? Because they lost 7 of their last 8 road games outright. They're bad. They're not good on the road. They can't travel. UTSA is not great, but one of the spots I like to try to take advantage of. We got a bad road team on their second game on the road, by the way. They just lost to UAB 85-78. UTSA, back-to-back road losses. 80-76, 69-64 against Wichita State. There's that Tulsa spot, too, that I just mentioned with that other trend, with the Cincinnati trend. Looking at taking on some Tulsa action. I think they were like, I don't remember what the number was. But UTSA coming back home after back-to-back losses. South Florida in the middle of a road stand, not good on the road. I don't need to get that much more invested in this thing. At the end of the day, it's just give me this UTSA spot. I'll lay the, what did I lay? I laid 3-pack. I think it'll come down to free throws at the end, but I'm going to look at the fact that South Florida's bad on the road. Probably the calls will be going in UTSA's direction. because they're the home team, and we'll exploit the fact that South Florida is just a shit road team. We'll take some UTSA. We'll move on. Next game. I did have some action in this Bama game for you guys. Look. Can't believe I didn't put the graphic up there for it. My fault. I like it just as a placeholder, at least. So if anybody goes back to listen to the show, they know where they can find the 9 p.m. breakdown for Bama, Missouri. At least some of the trends and the numbers that you should concern yourself with here. 94% of the bets, but 80% of the cash, like Bama. Why wouldn't you? And the Nate Oates era, when they come off a loss this season, they're 3-0. They bounce back hard. But everybody knows that. And the books know that. And they still made him a dog. They're begging you to take Alabama. Begging you. They're on their hands and knees, crawling up to you, saying, please, please, please take this Bama action. 71% of the bets and 74% of the cash have said, you know what, Bama's just going to beat these boys outright. And the book said, hey, if you like it at minus 105, here's a plus 105. Please, please take this Bama action. This total's gone from 171.5 to 171.5 with some twos. Not really true twos. They're kind of still around minus 110s. 95% of the bets, 94% of the cash on the under. We got ourselves a battle here. We got Bama. We talk about their situation after a loss. How about their totals? Their totals, after a spread loss at home, when they play a ranked team, have gone 8-0 to the over. 8-0 to the over. Mizzou, when they play top 10 opponents, though, guess what happens? Their last 32 games, they've all gone under the number. Every single one of them. So you got a battle of Bama bouncing back, going to the over. You got Mizzou stepping up against top 10 opponents, going to the under. Who prevails? Well, you got to be concerned about these injuries. That's the problem right now. Bama's losing because they're injured. They're hitting that point of the season. Amarier is the guy. That's the big question mark out there. Their center, the big man, questionable. Darian Reed is doubtful. The backcourt's crushed up. Houston Millett is out. He's got the knee injury. And you're going to go play a team that's defensively oriented, that plays strong at home. Bama does have that 90.3 points per game. I get it. Best in the country. Why are they a dog? And why are the books begging you to take it? They'll definitely have the advantage if that center's out of there, Amorier. They have an aggressive defensive unit. Again, they're playing at home. Bama's got to be tired, and Bama's going to get gassed in the second half. So if Bama comes out there and wins this first half, look for Mizzou to be live in that second half. I took them right off the gate. I laid the minus 120 on them. You don't have to beg me too much to take this Mizzou team. I'll fade the fuck out of Bama. I feel pretty damn good about fading Bama too in this case, because I think there's just a lot of overemphasis on this team. But when you peel the covers back, Jerry Davis, there you go. It's hard to get to 10, my friend. It's hard to get to 10. Hard to get to 10. What was the Jerry Davis says the meme was classic, Mike. I wouldn't mess with the total. I just take Bama. Or I'm sorry, I would take Missouri. Take good old Mizzou. Fighting Mizzou. I think Mizzou probably wins the SEC. How about that? I said it. Defense wins championships. Not offense. You can go out there and splash 90 points all over the place, but you're going to start playing in some neutral courts, and those are where the sight lines change. That's where you get just a little off comfort, a little out of your comfort zone. I think they're going to have a tough time stopping this Missouri team top to bottom. I think it's just going to be too much. Even if they do come back and they do play, even if that Amare plays, it's still going to have issues with the gas tank. Can't come in on short notice against a strong, aggressive defensive team that likes to bang you up. You throw bodies like it's Team USA playing Team Canada out there. Big spot for me on that Mizzou. Like I said, I think the underlying factor in that thing is just the injuries. Yeah, you can talk about the bounce back spot, but clearly I get it for Alabama and one of the best to do it. But when healthy, what's Alabama look like? What's Alabama look like when their big man center's out of the game? Just asking. Just asking. Because nobody knows. You guys don't know. Nobody knows. I can probably find out. Probably find out in a couple seconds. But Gonzaga and Washington State. Let's keep her going. Let's pick this pace up. Let's get this train moving down the tracks. Zags and Washington State. Not getting in the way of this freight train. Minus 13.5 has moved to minus 11.5 for Gonzaga. 95% of the bets on the Zags, but only 49% of the cash. One of the highest marginal differentials of the day. Margin differentials of the day. Washington State. 46% differential of big money coming in on Washington State. 95% of the bets. Decent ticket count. Gonzaga's a pretty public team. The Zags are a pretty public team. 9,600 tickets, 95% of them written on the Zags. The line's come down 2 points. The total's gone up. 165.5 to 166. 97% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the under. It's gone up. Not a lot to talk about with these two teams. I mean, ultimately, overall between them, I mean, Gonzaga should mop the floor up with these boys. But look, the Zags have that public tax associated to them. They're 10-17 against the spread. They're not winning overall against the spread. 6-11 at home, 4-6 on the road. They haven't been a dog, so they're 10-17 overall. Where Washington State gets underestimated, at home. 10-5 against the spread at home. They usually find themselves in the favorite role in that position. They're 10-6 to the favorite. But they're not a favorite, they're a dog. And that's important for this total because it's 10-6 to the over when they're a favorite. It's 3-8 to the under when they're a dog. Zags are 5-5 on the road to the total. And Washington, coming back home, they just had a St. Mary's collapse. They were getting 15.5 points. They lost by 21. The Zags have been kicking the shit out of everybody. Zags have found themselves in a little under train. 4-1 in their last 5 to the under. 4-1 in the last 5 for Washington State to the under. Look, this number's ticked up. It's gone on the uptick, and here's the problem. When you see Washington State attempts less than 10 free throws the previous game, why? Because they're just so beaten up and out of it that they don't even bother fouling them to get them to go to the line because it's a tight game. It's not a tight game. They're 16-0 to the under in those positions when they come off a game where they had less than 10 free throws. 22 of Washington State's last 23 night games against the conference have gone under 164 points. There's some big numbers in the under factory here because that's how bad Washington State is. It's good enough for me. There's no need to overemphasize this one. I'm jumping and I got 166.5. I like the fact that it's moved up 3 more points. Got them in their back pocket. I don't have to be concerned about overtime. What I got to be concerned with is the Zags going out there and putting up 100 points. Then let's see what the morale and fatigue factor looks like with Washington State because, that offense can bang for sure. And you know what? I get it. I mean, again, the public tax factor going into these guys, 20-7, right? I mean, they're a strong team. I think it's too many points. Not going to take Washington. I see the line moving. I don't know how to explain what the fuck's going on with this Washington State side of things. Because they're home, I guess. I don't know. It's a bad team. It's a bad team and they can't score. 56 points. They did get up an 87 spot against Pepperdine. 74 against Oregon State. But then when they play a good team, there's 51 points against San Francisco. 68 points against Pacific. That's not even that good a team. They were favorites in the Pacific game. They only scored 68 points. I'll roll with them. I'll take the under. We'll keep it moving. Onward, upward. We got a revenge situation at hand again here. New Mexico busting everybody up. Busting them all up. Top to bottom. Went from 2.5 to 4.5 points. Why is Boise State, if they're struggling in the conference and New Mexico's busting everybody up, why the hell with 82% of the bets and 83% of the cash is New Mexico gone from plus 2.5 to plus 4.5? Red flag alert. Reverse line movement alert. This total's gone from 150.5 to 152.5. And we have 95% of the bets and 92% of the cash on the under in this game. First pass, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's take some New Mexico. We peel the covers back. How about this? Boise State played like dog shit their last game. Absolute dog shit. Couldn't get out of their own way. Couldn't buy a buck. They lost at San Diego State 64-47. I mean, they're an under team. Under, everything. Well, they got 47 points. They do have some defense when they play the bad teams. They held Fresno to 60. They held UNLV to 62. That was on the road. They held San Jose State to 52. Then they come into this game with a 47 burger. Ugly, 47 points. On the other side of things with New Mexico, when New Mexico's home, I've said it before, I think that place in New Mexico down there, what do they call it, the Pit? Is that the Pit? Am I not mistaken? I might be mistaken. I think that's one of the toughest places to play in college basketball. New Mexico. At home. They ain't home. They're on the road. Here's the thing. Boise State shot 17% from the three last game. 55% from free throws. Terrible numbers top to bottom. But they won 4 of their last 5. They're on somewhat of the uptick, and they're in a revenge spot. The unders come through big time. Boise State last 18 games against non-ranked opponents have gone under 151 points. They like them defensive battles and them unders. You're coming in here with New Mexico, who's probably one of the top of the class, going on the road, and it's reverse line movement. Why? I think I know. I think I know the answer. The Mountain West home favorites in the revenge spot, 66-42, 7-3 in its last 10. Also qualified for the respected bettors report. Boise State minus 4.5. Sharp money came in. Respected bettors came in and took this Boise State side of things. And you can tell, with all that money coming in, why'd it go from 2.5 to 4.5? That be the deal. Give me some Boise State. And last game in college hoops. Then we'll hit these two and college. We'll hit these last game in college hoops. I'll give you the 2 plays for the NBA. And then I got to get ready to get with the boys and shoot some first strike. So hope you guys enjoyed what we're doing so far here. You can get a blend and a feel for sure of how I like to look at some of these spots and what I like to look for with these spots. And we don't get them all the time, but got kind of a little pivot wheel of 6 or 7 different spots in the head that I like to try to look for when I cap the card. And I think tonight we found quite a few of them. Look, Rutgers and Washington plus 1.5. Not really a lot of movement. 46% of the bets are on Rutgers. 59% of the cash are on Rutgers. You got 6% of the bets on the Rutgers money line. 73% of the cash. It's gone up 7 cents, 8 cents. The total, on the other hand, starting to get pressure to the down, to the under. 94% of the bets and 94% of the cash. We've seen it now come down a point. Rutgers on the road, they don't score points. They're not a point scoring team. They're 3-6-1 to the under. I'm sorry, to the spread. They can't get it done. 8-8 at home, 3-6-1 on the road. Overall, both these teams kind of show a profile for the overs. When Washington's at home, they're 9-6 to the over. When Rutgers is on the road, they're 6-4 to the over. But man, Rutgers, I don't know if they peaked out. If they hit, I don't know. 4 of their last 5 games have gone under. That's what I do know. They're not scoring. They're not scoring enough. They played Maryland. They lost 90-81. That's a big trip. This is where this time of year for these teams in the Big Ten, traveling all over the country now, Rutgers to Washington, it's a big trip. It's a big travel spot. Oregon, they just came off of an Oregon spot as well. I expect this Rutgers team to be gassed, and I think that's going to impact a team that struggles to score offensively. That's my assessment of this Rutgers spot. Doesn't mean I'm going to go take Washington. I mean, Washington, just same situation. They had a game at Ohio State. They had a game at Penn State. What I think is going to happen here is these guys they're just tired, and it's going to gas out. Rutgers in conference play, they're 26-7 to the under. They lost 8 of their last 9 games when they have the rest disadvantage. So I just talked about all that travel. Where's the offense going to come from for these 2 games? This one's top to bottom, soup to nuts, an underplay for me to close out the card here. Under 148.5 in Rutgers and Washington. And we'll move on. 2 plays for you guys. I'm taking the Lakers. Now, it's an island game, clearly. Charlotte's bad, clearly. There's big trends that say that the Lakers, after getting busted up, bounce back, especially at home. But they had that shit all-star break in between, so I'm going to discount that. I just want the Lakers because I don't think the Hornets match up against this team. You have 64% of the bets, only 51% of the cash, but the line has gone from 13 to 12. So there's some opinion that there's too many points in this game. This total shot up 5 points. 89% of the bets and 94% of the cash have gone on the over. It's impacted the total by 5 points. I think that LeBron James and company have some explaining to do because if you're the face of the league, that's a shit all-star performance that was hung in there. And then LeBron, wasn't he a healthy scratch in the all-star game? Fucking joke. I mean, just a joke. Mark Williams is probable. Conditioning issues. He had that physical challenge. Now, I can see the over because, look, you got LeBron, you got Luka, Rui's probable. These guys are all probable. Cam Reddish is doubtful. Mark Williams probably got something to prove. Fuck you, you don't want me. Fuck you, I can't pass your physical. I'm going to go out there and dice your ass. That's probably what Mark Williams was thinking in this game. But I got to take the Lakers. I just think, look, they're 6-0 when they allowed at least 120 points the previous game. To me, despite their bounce back factors and such, I just think that, 131, 119 against Utah. Problem with that game is it was the second leg of a back-to-back against the same team. And they just beat them up 132, 113. So them Lakers boys had all-star game on the mind, not let's go take down Utah. But they've been scoring. They've been scoring 4 straight overs in a row. The Hornets have not been scoring. 4 of their last 5 games have gone under. They had 3 straight road games before the All-Star break, Detroit, Brooklyn, and Orlando. They lost all 3. They only covered Detroit. As they got tired and gassed out, they stopped scoring. 89 points against Brooklyn, 86 points against Orlando. Those are 2 tough defensive-oriented teams. But I just think at the end of the day here, the Lakers, look, they're favored by double digits for a reason. Charlotte, 28th in the league in scoring. They only get 106. We just talked about that. The lowest field goal percentage of any NBA team, 43%. That's not going to work overall long-term for you. And you got LeBron and you got Luka. LaMelo Ball probably plays, but what's he, he's going to put up 75 points or he's going to put up 5 points. I don't know what you're going to get out of this guy. Mind these boys. I think it's too much to battle coming back from the All-Star break. This is LeBron time of year. This is where LeBron starts getting serious, starts thinking, playing off for the playoffs, getting another championship under his belt. But we're not done there. Full disclosure, I laddered Josh Green. Up to 15 points. I stopped at, where did I stop at? Tell you exactly where I stopped at. Let me look. I stopped at 15. That's not what I'm looking for. I took his over 6.5 points. That was minus 125 earlier today. I stopped at 10 plus points. That's plus 200. I stopped at 12 plus points. That's plus 375. And I went up to 15 plus points at plus 900. Why? He likes to score against these Lakers. I think it was something like 6 of his last 7 games. He's gotten 15 or more points. So I took a shot with a little bit of a ladder because Hornets are dealing with a bunch of injuries. But we know the Lakers have been running and gunning and putting up points and letting teams put up points, and more importantly, on top of that. So I took myself a little Josh Green action. You'll see that in the parlay. I went to Rui. I got Rui over 4.5 rebounds. Now, Rui, he likes to score first. So keep your eyes on this dude scoring the first basket on top of that. He's first basket in his last 3 straight home games against the Hornets. He likes to score first. It's plus 900. Not a bad look if you wanted to have a little sprinkle fun money because it is the late night spot out there. But this rebound prop out there, you know, it's hard to say because Charlotte does get a lot of rebounds. If you look at their profile across the league, 45.7 rebounds a game. Makes them a top 5 squad, but they stink. They shoot a lot of balls and they miss a lot of balls, which gives the opportunity for Rui. Overall, blowout opportunity probably means that he gets out there a little bit more than he should. He averages 5.4 rebounds a game at home. He's gone over the number 6 of his last 7 games as well. So we're looking for guys that get the minutes, averaging the numbers below their average, and they're in a position, X's and O's wise to map up or match up against the other team. So Rui's over 4.5 rebounds. And they went with Necht under 9.5 points. It's juicing on top of that. I think the guy that's going to put the points up on the Charlotte side of things here is going to be Mark Williams. I wanted to get Mark Williams in there. I just don't want to get a healthy scratch and get fucked on a bad number on a parlay. So that's it. Plus 509, little 3-legger. Josh Green. I shared with you my ladder strategy with Josh Green. It was a full unit on the 6.5. It was a half a unit on 10 plus, the other half of the unit on 12 plus, and then just a quarter unit on the almost a plus 1,000, just as a little fun flyer to stretch it out as the night goes on. That's it, you guys. 7:04 on the dot. Appreciate everybody that came out here and rocked with us tonight. AOD, Kelly V, Mr. Tomatoes, Sneaky Ninja in the house. Let's go, you guys. Appreciate everybody. Dale Fix, St. Thomas, South Dakota, over 175.5, question mark. I really don't know. I originally wanted to take St. Thomas in that game, but then I saw that there was a lot of points. AOD, thanks, AOD. Appreciate you. I'm not sure why you gave me the screw you, but we want Justice TV. Says, give me Illinois at South Florida, USA over Mississippi State, Alabama, Missouri under from our guy. We want Justice. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate everybody. Action Jackson's here. Smoke and Mirrors. Good to see my guy Smoke. Damon Waring, appreciate you. Kelly V. Trisha M. Thank you for showing up. Rick J. Chase J. I'd shut all you guys out, but let's get the outro and let's get some money. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out all the videos out there. Sub Club's got the Friday action open for the EPL. That's where Sub Club operates best. Get yourself a little Subway sandwich. Then we got ourselves, of course, VB MMA picks, breaking down 3 fights for the UFC card in Seattle. You got the First Strike team will be out there tonight around 10 o'clock, giving you guys 4 of our best bets for the UFC Seattle fight card. Big live stream tomorrow night. Check out my man, Ramon Scott. He's been running so hot at 9 a.m. with the morning steam. And again, just want to say thank you to everybody coming in here, rocking with us. Our guy, Joe Dub, gifted 5 Sports Money memberships. Appreciate you, Joe. You guys have any questions about memberships and upgrades, reach out to me. I'll see what I can do to help you guys out. Appreciate you. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go. Snow, Curtis